Welcome to this week's Foundation Friday. I am joined today by Shari Williams, Chief Risk Officer at SLR Equipment Finance. And we're here today to talk about Teddy Bears for Love, which is a program offered by Fairfield University Alumni Association. So thank you, Shari, for bringing this to our attention, and looking forward to learning more about this initiative this morning.
Yeah, no, thank you very much. It's exciting to actually talk about it. I am on the board of directors for the Alumni Association. I personally feel it's important to give back. And I think once you reach a certain point in your career, even a certain point in your life, when you have a little bit more time on your hands, not that many of us have free time, so I don't want to give anyone that impression. But I think that, once you get to a place where you have the ability to be a little bit more established, it's important to really just start reflecting on what has made an impact in your life and how can you give back. And Fairfield University was one of those places that was very impactful for me, just during my formative education years. I did get my undergraduate degree from there, and then subsequently went back to get my MBA from there. And it was an institution that truly is founded on some great Jesuit principles, giving back to the community being very much in the forefront of one of their philosophies. But even just reverting back to my point in general, in terms of just giving back to things that have been impactful in one's life, the university really became my second home. I made some wonderful relationships with professors, some friends there, just other administrators, mentors. And so just in terms of kind of, paying it forward or paying it backwards, however you want to refer to it, right? I think it's important to really just try to give back time, effort, whatever it really takes, to show a level of appreciation, and really just to kind of continue to foster what they are trying to promote. And the university does a great job in terms of promoting community outreach. One of the founding Jesuit principles is really outreach to kind of marginalized communities, and certainly volunteerism. And so Fairfield really does, I think, go above and beyond in terms of highlighting that to its community. And so Teddy Bears for Love, the charity effort that we're talking about today, was started 26 years ago. So they obviously had their 25th anniversary last year. That was a great milestone. And it's continuing in popularity mainly because of the initiative itself. It's intended to generate new stuffed animals, as many as possible, obviously. There's need within our immediate community, but even communities or other institutions of need that are identified by other alumni chapters. And so what I wasn't aware of until becoming active in this particular fundraiser is that many local hospitals have and maintain toy lockers. And so when a child is admitted to the hospital for any level of care, they're usually presented with some sort of token to help make their hospital stay a little bit less dramatic and traumatic. And so the main principle of the fundraiser is to really help support, restock, supply some of the area toy lockers, and then some other identified places that also contribute to children's needs. And as I mentioned too, it's really opened to any region where an alumni chapter or even an individual alumni can identify an area of need. So it's not exclusive to Connecticut. It is generally focused on our area because Fairfield University is located in Fairfield, Connecticut. And so there are certainly some large hospitals, even large hospitals such as Yale, that have large children's departments, right? And so the focus is really trying to ensure that the community that Fairfield serves, it really has the needs, and then again, anything that's identified by its community members, including alumni throughout the nation. So circling back to what I had mentioned earlier, I'm on the alumni board of directors, and this charity is really sponsored by the Alumni Association, but even importantly by the Student Alumni Association. So this is really the undergraduates who are driving the initiative on campus as well. These will ultimately be leaders in the alumni community, and so it's just a great opportunity for them to also get very comfortable and familiar with those of us who are already just alumni in the community. So it's really a coordinated effort between the Alumni Association on campus and then those of us who are just active alumni in general.
Perfect. Yeah, and I can relate to the I guess token that a hospital gives. When Rory was, I want to say maybe 4, she had a breathing episode
Oh,
where,
wow.
where her oxygen was very low.
Yeah.
So we were in Gilbert and she had to be transferred to Phoenix via ambulance. And of course,
Okay.
they don't allow parents in the ambulance, which is like
Yeah.
great.
Frightening,
So
right?
like I was like, 2 a.m. driving behind this thing, and then I had to park the car, and I was like, "Where is she?" And then when I finally got to the room, they had like a toy,
Yeah.
that was keeping her occupied. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
uh, yeah,
Well, it's great that you have a personal experience with that. I think for a child, we certainly, I have 3 kids. They are all in college, but we certainly had our fair share of emergency room visits as well. I think everyone gets initiated into that, unfortunately, right? Some of them are for very,
yeah,
crazy circumstances. My son, I'll never forget, was 2 years old. Our first major emergency room visit was Christmas Eve. He was trying to yank his Christmas stocking down from the mantle, and so the stockings were hung on these very large, or just I should say heavy, not large, but heavy metal um, pots that I had small poinsettias in, right? So if you can picture that. So it's a pretty heavy metal pot
sure,
with a hook.
sure.
And sure enough, the hook landed straight on his forehead. Nice little gash on Christmas Eve. So that was that was our Christmas Eve when he was 2. And it's very unsettling for kids. It's very intimidating to be in an emergency room, especially, but just in even a hospital setting. And so I think this is a great initiative to try to comfort, really any child. And so having that supply all year round is really vital. Obviously, the university focuses on the Christmas season because I think that they certainly want to ensure that the availability exists during that time of year. No one really wants to have to experience an emergency or a hospital room visit during the holidays, but that certainly does occur. And so the university targeted December just to ensure that there was a supply for at least the area hospitals and those other identified areas of need. But it is something that is necessary to consider all year round, and hopefully it is making a little bit of a meaningful impact to these children's stays at the hospital.
I'm sure it definitely is. And I guess my next question I have for you is: people watching this, our colleagues, friends, peers in this industry, what can they do, Sherry, to
Yeah,
support
thank
this
you for
initiative?
asking. They can, certainly go directly to the Alumni Association website at Fairfield University. That's just fairfield.edu. That's certainly one avenue. Or you can certainly send a bear to SLR Equipment Finance at 40 Danbury Road in Wilton, Connecticut. That is an option. I am collecting the physical stuffed animals and then bringing them myself to Fairfield University, who does through the alumni, through the Alumni Association there, and then the Student Alumni Association, they do the physical packaging of them and delivering to the identified charities of need. And so I will be, doing that probably. I believe the deadline, I just want to double check my calendar. The true deadline is the 13th. So any bear that can be delivered to SLR Equipment Finance in Wilton by the 13th, I will hand deliver over to Fairfield University. Or there is certainly a Venmo option. I know many of our remote employees have engaged in that option. And so I really just pool the funds and then do one major shopping spree to try to accomplish that, because sometimes it is just a little bit more inconvenient to ship the bears, but we can certainly take advantage of the fact that I'm available by Venmo. I honestly don't remember my Venmo off the top of my
It's okay.
head.
I'll post it
If
when
you
we
can
post
link
this.
it to this, that would
Yeah.
be fantastic. I apologize for not remembering that off the top of my head, or having it
Okay.
handy. But
It's
many of
okay.
our
It's
remote employees and affiliates have been very generous and have donated that way. And so I will make 1 or 2 lunch trips to collect those bears, and that will be part of my December 13th delivery to Fairfield University.
awesome. I know
Yeah.
we have a decent amount that'll be showing up, I think, next Tuesday. Um,
Yes,
so
exactly. I
yeah,
appreciate that. That is a
yeah.
fantastic contribution on the part of your charity organization. I've already informed Fairfield University to expect that addition to this year's contribution. They are very excited. It's amazing that this really has grown in popularity. The university does do a good job of getting the message out through its alumni chapters and through the alumni. And then the Student Association does a good job of trying to collect on campus too. But the fact of the matter is, the more it gains in popularity, the more identified needs are also made available, right? So even though we get more contributions, we also become aware of more need. So the more we get, the more we find need. And so it really is great to see this grow and have the ability to fulfill even more areas of need.
Perfect. Yeah, and of course, as soon as I mentioned it to the advisory council, they were like, "Can we put our logo on the foot?" And I'm like, "Hey, look, we don't have time for that right now. We'll do that. We'll do that next
Well,
year."
I suppose theoretically, yes. But right. There's a definitely future opportunity. And so yeah, so it's wonderful, right? It kind of, as silly as it sounds, maybe it doesn't sound so silly. It really does. It's one particular initiative that really does warm my heart, because so many people are truly fond of this particular fundraiser. It gets a great reception. But moreover, it really is ensuring that the most vulnerable have something that can just brighten their day or their experience, and something that is typically dramatic or traumatic, as I mentioned. Christmas is a time, and holidays in general are a time when we really think about the needs of others. And so thinking about the needs of kids who are making a trip to a place that they certainly don't want to make, I think just is a warming opportunity to to contribute, to be sure that someone's day is made just a little bit better.
I agree 100%. And thank you, Sherry, for all your dedication to this initiative there. And we're excited to support it.
Yeah. Yeah. And Jesse, I'm just going to give one other shout out, if I could, to, Fairfield
Sure.
University in general. They really do embrace the Jesuit mission, as I said, which really centers a lot on community outreach. I'm just going to mention this for awareness, literally just to raise awareness to anyone who is listening, especially in our industry. Um, Fairfield University opened a Bellarmine campus in Bridgeport, Connecticut 2 years ago. It's been a phenomenal success in a short time frame. The Fairfield community would certainly appreciate any corporate sponsors or donations to this specific campus. And I encourage, really, again, anyone listening to go on to Fairfield's website, fairfield.edu, and look up the Bellarmine campus specifically. It is intended to serve the needs of an urban community, and it is really the first of its kind in the nation that's sponsored, especially by a Jesuit university, whereby it's focused on a 2-year associate degree program for truly marginalized communities and kids. For example, kids who can't afford it, kids who are first generation attending college. And so the university pays for the education in its entirety. And they really do end up with an associate's degree from Fairfield University, no different than its main campus in Fairfield. And the goal is centered on health services, financial services, engineering, and one other, and I think maybe a business sector. So there are four main segments that they are introducing these students to. And it's really intended to give them an opportunity to graduate to the Fairfield main campus, or pursue a position in one of those areas, like healthcare, for example, or finance, or business, or engineering. And so it's a great initiative in that it's truly offering something to a group of individuals that Fairfield believes wouldn't have had the opportunity to get higher education if not for a program like this. So again, it's fully funded by the university and by donations. It's been really widely acknowledged and accepted in kind of the community, but it's just gaining traction and publicity now. So I wanted to use this as an opportunity just to throw a shout out there, because it's just a super great initiative. These kids end up with a fabulous education for free, but moreover, people like myself, other volunteers go to campus, help them prepare for interviews, will provide even clothing for interviews if it's necessary. So it's really kind of a great overall initiative to try to help promote truly an area of need in downtown Bridgeport. This was a campus that was sort of a closed former Catholic school. The Archdiocese of Bridgeport really didn't know what to do with this. And so they donated the facility to Fairfield University to house the actual campus. It's beautiful. It's been completely renovated to fit the needs of college students. And so it's not just a beautiful place to learn, but it's truly an inspirational place to learn. And it really does sort of exemplify how communities can come together to truly try to make opportunities better for some of the individuals that might not have a chance otherwise.
Perfect.
So
Well
thanks
said.
for letting me, kind of put that plug out there. I appreciate it.
Hey, no, I love your passion. Definitely makes sense why you're part of that community. So
Yeah,
not a
yeah,
problem whatsoever. And if people have questions about that, feel free to reach out to Shari directly.
yeah, absolutely. Happy to talk about it. I remain a enthusiastic alumni. So hopefully lots of people have an opportunity to find a passion like this, or kind of a comfort zone. So yeah, thank you.
Absolutely, Shari. Well, good luck next. What is the 13th? Is that Friday? Next Friday?
Yes, exactly. Next Friday. So we have about a week and a half.
Okay. Well, good luck with your shopping spree. Look
Thank you
forward to
very
seeing
much,
some
Jesse.
photos of everything being delivered, and happy
Yes.
holidays.
Photos will
To
be
you and your
shared
family.
and posted. Yep, so keep an eye out for that. And then again,
Okay.
just a special shout out to you two and all that you're doing through your organization. It's phenomenal. The equipment leasing industry really, I think, is filled with a lot of thoughtful individuals. And so it's great that there's an organization like yours where we can come together and truly give back as an industry, right? So thank you as well.
Sure. I mean, it's not just me. I mean, we have a bunch of sponsors and a bunch of volunteers, but no, thank you very much for that.
Yeah, for sure.
And happy holidays. I'm sure we'll be talking before the end of the year, but happy holidays to you and your family.
Thank you very much. And I'll share with you our grand totals as soon as I know what they are. It'll be fun to reveal that.
Awesome, Shari. Thank you very much.
Thank you. My pleasure.